Welcome to the Pro Aging Podcast. I'm Steve Gurney, founder of Positive Aging Sourcebook. We're excited that you can join us for our interactive discussions with pioneers and thought leaders on a wide variety of topics related to aging and longevity. In this episode, we connect with Paul Murillo, the Business Development Manager with GetSetUp. GetSetUp is a mission-driven education technology company dedicated to teaching older adults today's technology. With GetSetUp, people learn new skills, assess new experiences, and connect with each other. All classes are online and taught live by older adults who are retired educators or professionals. This was a great discussion with lots of questions, so let's jump into the discussion with Paul and GetSetUp. Forward button and welcome our panel member on, and that is Paul Murillo with the company GetSetUp. And Paul, welcome. And I know it's morning there for you on the West Coast. Where are you located?
We're located in Silicon Valley. So, I'm in San Jose, California from home. We have offices all around the world, but we are actually officially based in California and Utah.
Well, that's the place to be based if you're a tech company. So welcome and thanks for meeting with us so early in the morning. Before we kind of dive into GetSetUp, I'd love to get to know you a little bit better and let our audience know you a little bit better. Can you share a little bit about your background and what kind of led you to the chapter of your life that you're in right now?
You bet. So I've spent my entire career working at Silicon Valley technology companies. I originally cut my teeth working at Yahoo back in 1996 and worked there until 2002. After that, I ran into a company called EduSoft, which I worked at, and I actually fell in love with working with people that were not technology people. Fast forward to a few years, and a friend of mine that started this GetSetUp reached out to me, and he's like, "Here's what we're doing," and I'm like, "Wow, this is my opportunity to get back in." And kind of get back working with people that work in the public sector and giving me the opportunity to kind of feel that EduSoft goodness that I felt long ago. And so I just jumped at it because it's a mission-driven organization and we're making a difference. So that's really kind of the thing that got me really excited. And I just jumped at the opportunity. So thanks, Steve. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat about GetSetUp because I'm really excited about what we're doing here. Hi, everyone. My name's Paul Murillo. I work for GetSetUp. GetSetUp is a live interactive learning platform, and it's built specifically for older adults. And we offer live, fun, and free interactive classes during the COVID pandemic. So let me tell you a little bit more about GetSetUp. GetSetUp is an online, essentially a school. We have classes specifically for people over 50 years old, and all of our classes are taught live. And I believe the greatest thing about GetSetUp is the fact that if you're not 50 years or older, you're not allowed to use GetSetUp. So if you're not 50, get out. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that all of our instructors, who we call guides, also have to be 50 years old. We've essentially found that the best way to learn is to learn from someone that looks like you and thinks like you. I'm 52 years old, and I have a very difficult time learning from my eldest son, who's 22. Younger generations don't really understand older generations' learning style and their learning cadence. And we have found that pairing learners with instructors who are of a similar age, it really makes the learning environment so much more comfortable and so much more conducive to learning material. so let me go to the next slide. We have multiple classes per day. And this is just, kind of an example of the GetSetUp website. When you come to GetSetUp, it's not just one class a day. We all offer multiple classes. And in this particular instance, which was a random Friday, we had 9 classes offered. We offer over 100 different classes in our catalog, and they're across multiple topics. And every day you'll find really new and interesting classes. Our classes are a lot of fun. And if you don't understand something in our class, you can simply raise your hand, very much the way, Steve's running this platform right now, where you can just simply raise your hand and the instructor will stop the class. In our classes, you'll meet people from around the United States. Many folks seem to make new friends at GetSetUp, and sometimes they actually make friends in the classes and then schedule future classes together. So what we have here is a true older adult learning community that's fun and interactive. As I mentioned, we have over 100 courses at GetSetUp, and we have really kind of put them into 4 buckets. And this is really kind of built, with COVID in mind. The first group of courses are really have to do about connectability and understanding technology that can be used kind of as a springboard. And I kind of akin this to, when my father was aging in place, I brought him a computer and I said, "Hey, Dad, I bought you a present." And, my dad, who was like, 80 and, working class guy, is like, "What the heck did you do that for?" And I said, "Well, let me show you something. You push this button and you get to read stocks. You push this button, you get to read news. You push this button and you can call anybody in the United States for free." And so he immediately put the headset on. He called my uncle and he said, "Hey, Mickey, I'm calling you from my computer." And my uncle said, "So what?" And my dad said, "Well, it's not costing me a darn thing." And so that was kind of that inflection point, that moment, that catalyst, that springboard moment, the aha moment, where he was able to go, "Hey, I found how to use this, and I developed some confidence in it." And that's what we do with our connectability classes. We try to build that catalyst, that springboard for older adults. And I'm going to go into some of the classes that we offer in our next section. We also have classes on physical health. So I'll go into those classes as well as mental health, and then social health. And what I mean by social health is they're actually social hours. They're not even real classes. And it's really just an opportunity for folks to kind of just, take a breather and have some fun. So as I mentioned, this is the connectability piece, and we find this super important. So we do orientation classes every single day, multiple orientation classes. And in that class, we make sure that everybody that comes to GetSetUp understands the basics of their mobile device, of how they can use their mobile device most effectively, so that they could schedule new classes on GetSetUp. The second class that we recommend is taking an introduction to Zoom. And the reason we kind of recommend that is because, we're now here kind of in the middle of COVID, and this is the time of year where older adults really depend on seeing their friends and family. And while we know you cannot replace a physical hug, learning how to use Zoom and schedule meetings, you'll be able to see your grandkids. So at the end of every class, we try to make it actionable. So at the end of the Zoom class, you should be able to schedule a Zoom meeting and see your grandkids. We also have classes on Google Meets, using Nextdoor, the basics of your device, and as well as Facebook Messenger.
Hey, Paul,
Yes, sir.
I think this is what's really what in the articles that I've seen written about GetSetUp. I think this is really where you guys have sort of put your flag in the sand in terms of developing a system that really makes it easy for people that might not be sort of think of themselves as tech adopters to, understand the important elements that can help give them more confidence to sort of move forward in this digital world. Am I correct in that?
That's really it. I mean, this is the foundation of our program. Like, we want older adults during this period of time to be able to connect with their friends and family. Like, we are now going into a period of time right now where older adults depend on seeing their family. Like, Thanksgiving, Christmas shopping, New Year's, and then we go into this long, cold winter. Like, if you are, if you're sheltering in place or you're aging in place, this can be a really, really kind of difficult time, because if you're not able to socialize, this is a great way, a bridge to get to the other side.
I like with a lot of our panel members and organizations, we've all had to make such radical changes in the way that we communicate with our customers, in the way that our product is delivered. I'm kind of curious. Have you seen sort of the evolution of some of these programs here that you have on the screen, based on the fact that now you've got more and more users kind of going through, and they sort of evolve in that you've probably got it really dialed in terms of here's how we introduce Zoom to somebody, and it's our success rate is much higher.
Absolutely. So we run these. So right now, we've ramped up our introduction to Zoom classes. All of our Zoom classes, we've ramped it up, and we offer them 3 to 4 times a week. Like, this is one of the classes that we feel is most important right now. So we have created actually multiple Zoom classes. So we have like an introduction to Zoom. We have Zoom for the holidays. We have advanced Zoom. We have scheduling Zoom meetings. So this is one of the courses, as well as obviously Google Meets, Meetup. So yeah, this is super important. And basically, our what we're trying to do is teach as many people how to use these type of meeting software programs as we can, because this is the core of getting through this tough winter period.
Okay, I didn't mean to derail you there, but this is all good stuff. And Loretta Sachs asks, and this is probably something you're going to address later, but is how are you funded if you don't? Okay. How are you funded if you don't charge users? It all sounds super. I believe there are some charges for some of your classes, do you want to talk about that now, or are you going to address that a little bit later?
Oh no, I'll take that on right now. So okay. Our courses for older adults, if you come to GetSetUp, we actually have a lot of free courses. So because of COVID, we've actually made a lot of our courses free right now. Like, we're trying to take a socially responsible position here over the next 3 to 4 months. And if you come to GetSetUp, you can actually take 10 to 15 courses absolutely free. So we have other courses. Obviously, we pay all of our instructors $25 an hour to teach these courses. So we're also we're also paying them. So we have to kind of tighten our belt a little bit. But we really think it's important to teach these Zoom classes, these Meetup classes, right away, right now. So we have made a business decision to offer a lot of these courses for free. So as an older adult, if you go to GetSetUp right now, you can actually take these courses, some of these courses, for absolutely free. Some of our more advanced classes are $5 a class. And we also have kind of like a subscription. If you want to take as many classes as you want per month, it's like $14.99. But, right now, I think it's important to stress that, we're offering a lot of these courses absolutely free right now.
Excellent. So like, I think the ones that, I can see with our audience is like, are the intro to Zoom and like, are those free or those paid classes?
Those are free right now. Absolutely.
Wow, guys, this is awesome in terms of, for those in the audience that are working with older adults, this is a great opportunity where, you've got this tested, proven intro class that we can steer our clients to, have them do that. And then, that may be a great solution as opposed to, I know many of us are just trying to teach our mom and dads, how to use these various things.
Right. And so the other thing, Steve, that I want to mention is we also work with organizations around the United States that support older adults. And, in some cases, they could be the YMCA, they could be AARP, they could be area agencies on aging, they could be living facilities. We work with and partner with them to create learning centers. So we can create kind of co-branded learning centers that you can direct people to, and then we can actually give you, information and data like, here's how many classes they've taken, and whatnot. So to make sure that they're actually, really using it and get the most out of GetSetUp. And the other thing is as an organization, you understand what classes your older adults need the most. So when you partner with us as an institution, we also give you the ability to curate those classes. So, there's a ton of classes out there where they may not be applicable to you, or there might be specific classes that are most important to the older adult population in your organization. So we can actually give those organizations a unique kind of branded experience and the ability to curate the classes that their population would take.
Great. Excellent. All right. Well, keep on going.
Okay, cool. So we've covered, so that's the first part. As I mentioned, we have a bunch of different sections. And as I mentioned, this connectability piece is the most important part. The second class that we set of classes we offer are on physical health. We just hired a Tai Chi instructor. We have classes on managing your medications on apps. We have skincare health. We have making healthy meals in 30 minutes or less and getting groceries delivered. So, these classes are very specific to kind of physical health and staying physically healthy. And then our next set of classes is mental health. So, we have classes on conquering dementia. We have classes on staying positive in a pandemic, as well as meditation classes. And actually, if anybody is into meditation, this is such a great class, and people really have found that they've liked this class a lot. So we're also looking at hiring a yoga instructor pretty soon. And the other thing is that I do want to mention is that, as I mentioned earlier, all of our instructors are 50 plus. And we've also had a bunch of people who have taken GetSetUp classes and then afterwards have raised their hand and said, hey, I'm a former educator, or I'm a former professional, or I'm a former technologist. I've taken a couple of classes and I really like what you're doing. I'd love to be an instructor. So we've actually had some folks who have taken classes at GetSetUp who've essentially graduated and are now instructors at GetSetUp. So, it's a really neat thing to see when that happens. Finally, social hour. And I got to tell you, this is probably one of the funnest things to do. We have at least 2 social hours a day. Our social hours are topical and everybody's welcome. These are absolutely free too. We have social hours on book club, holiday recipe swap, games, or the best one that we've had so far is bring your pet to social hour. And to be quite honestly, the pet social hour is one of the funnest ones we have. If you're looking for some fun, lighthearted fun, check this one out. I highly recommend it. And we actually had one yesterday. We had an older gentleman say, "Hey, I don't have a pet. Can I bring my rambunctious grandson?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not? That'd be fun." So let's see. So other class topics that we have available, creativity, financial planning, stuff like LinkedIn, job-oriented stuff, holiday recipe swap, creating holiday traditions. So back to the whole partnership thing. So as I mentioned, we work with a lot of organizations that support older adults. And we were working with a group of area agencies on aging in the state of Michigan. And they were pretty happy with what we were doing, and that kind of bubbled up. And now we are, if you are in the state of Michigan, every class is free to you for the next year. So the Department of Michigan Health and Human Services has partnered with GetSetUp to bring all 2.4 million older adult Michiganders GetSetUp for absolutely free for the next year. So if you're in Michigan, this is for you.
Hey, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Margie Hessel-Arnold has a question. What is the number of attendees for most of your classes, and where are they signing up from?
Good question. The average class is about 12 classes or 12 people. Now, here's the thing. We've been averaging 12, but as we go into this period of time right now, our Zoom classes are bulking up quite a bit, and we're accepting up to like 22 people. We don't like our classes to be that full, but right now it's kind of what we're having to deal with. But we're as I mentioned, we're ramping up our Zoom classes and our Google Meet classes. But yeah, ideally and on average, it's 12 people. But right now, over the holiday season, it's been as high as 20. What was the other part of that question, Steve?
Oh, where are they coming from? It sounds like they're coming from all over. But do you ever sort of see where you, like with the Michigan program, do you ever sort of see that because there's this, program going on that you have a bunch of people from one geographic area?
Sure. And that's a great question. So generally speaking, they're from around the United States. In the case of Michigan, we've actually a lot of our social hours, because it's a large program and there's a lot of people coming from Michigan. We've created like social hours specifically for Michigan, such as like, let's talk about the Detroit Pistons, or let's talk about things that are very kind of specific to Michigan. So we do have the ability to curate content if you have large groups of people that want to chat about it. Okay, great.
And let's see, Beverly comments, chair, do you offer chair yoga and regular yoga?
That's a great question. Yes. So in a lot of the cases, it is chair yoga. So yeah, that's a great question. I haven't checked out the yoga class yet, but I believe the majority of our yoga classes are chair yoga.
Ken Silverstein has a good question, is how do you promote this service to recruit new participants?
So right now we're relying pretty much heavily on partners. We work with probably 40 to 50 organizations around the United States. And those organizations pretty much do the promotion of the platform.
Aside from like the state of Michigan, can you share some of the different partners that you work with, and maybe the ones where it really just seems like a great match? Because I know there might be people in our audience that could be thinking about partnering with you.
You bet. So we're partnering with folks like AARP, the YMCA, or that YMCA. We're partnering with them. I think in 14 cases around the United States. We also are partnered with over 30 to 40 area agencies on aging around the United States. We're also partnering with a couple organizations, living facilities. So, anybody that can benefit from this, we're more than happy to chat with.
Great. And for example, I know by looking at the attendee list that we've got a handful of folks in the audience that either work or run senior living communities. What does a partnership look like between your organization and like an assisted living or retirement community?
Sure. Yeah. So essentially what we do, the way we'd work with them is very similar to how we would work with all of our other partners. We would essentially show them our full catalog. And what they could do is they could go through our catalog and they could decide which classes are most befitting to their organization. Because let's face it, those folks know, what classes are most needed in their community. So at that point, what we would do is we would create a custom kind of learning environment for them with their logo and with information about their organization. And, we'd pin the classes to the page that they would want. As they start to take, as we roll this out, they would roll it out to the members of the community. And we would give them, basically data on, how many folks in their community are taking classes. And then on the backside, we would essentially, right now, we would offer this to them for free through the end of March. And then after that, they could find out if they got some signal, if folks are using it, and if they're using it, then we could find out, figure out the financial arrangement based on the number of users that are using it.
Oh, great. Well, this is fantastic, Paul. I really want to commend you. You've probably in the months that I have been doing these digital discussions, you've probably been the most clear and you've given the quickest sort of description of what it is that you do. I know that sometimes, especially with new technology, it's really easy to kind of dive in the weeds, but I really commend you on describing this very efficiently and quickly and sort of answering questions before people can even ask them. Sophia Ross has a good question. Are there ways that your classes can accommodate those with hearing issues or dementia?
So with hearing issues or dementia, at this point, hearing issues, not at this point yet. So essentially what we do is we have a button that runs on GetSetUp when you're taking a class, and essentially says what type of classes do you feel would be most important to you. And we have a running tally of which classes are most important. Whatever ones are bubble up to the top are kind of it's democratically done by the end user, by the people that we serve. So the ones that get the most votes are the ones that we do next. So
okay. Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of technology is that you can, you've got these metrics that they don't lie, you can see engagement and that's what I was I think one of the great things about what you're doing is that if you're constantly sort of reviewing your content and your metrics, you just get better and better and more efficient in the way that you're delivering the services. Now, you may have touched on it, but when was GetSetUp actually founded, and how long have you been offering this platform?
So GetSetUp was started about a year and a half ago.
Oh,
And,
so this is really new.
oh, this is really new. Yeah. GetSetUp was offered about a year and a half ago, and it was actually pre-COVID. And essentially what we were doing is when we started the company, it was slightly different. We started this company as a means to train older adults who essentially still had gas in the tank, who still wanted to go out there, who wanted to keep working. So a lot of the courses that we were offering at that time were kind of more core courses, such as, how do I make a PowerPoint presentation? How do I use Excel? How do I build my own website? And so then, and it was going absolutely gangbusters. But then COVID hit, and we were challenged by a couple of our partners to create a program that really kind of helped older adults connect. And I'll tell you, Steve, I think it kind of righted the ship for us, because we realized that the need of connectivity was absolutely most important at this time. And we've completely changed our curriculum, and it seems like we've really kind of hit our stride, and this was the curriculum we should have been creating all along.
Excellent. Well, like I said, you've done a great job describing this, and I will sort of put a last call out there for any questions, comments, or thoughts that people would like to share on this topic. Oh, I see Margie's hand is raised, but I think because we answered her question in Q&A, I'm going to lower her hand. But if anybody at this point would like to ask any additional questions, we can, or if you have anything you want to share, guys, remember, this is our last event of the year. So, so if you've got, something that you like to say, this always happens whenever I throw this out. So Sophia Ross says, what classes would you like to offer in the future that you currently do not have? Oh, that's a good one, Sophia.
So
anything out there?
Oh, and I'm going to throw this out there because this would be a benefit to me. If anybody knows any instructors who would like to teach classes that are based on physical health or mental health, please, we pay $25 an hour. We have people, a lot of our instructors are, like I mentioned, all of our instructors are over 50. We'd like them to be over 50. We pay $25 an hour to teach classes. I would say 98% of our instructors are retired professionals. So a lot of them are just doing this part-time for fun. A lot of people are doing this socially, but we're really looking for more kind of, as we start to teach our community a lot of the Zoom and the connectivity classes, we really want to try to work on the physical health classes and the mental health classes. We really feel like we got the connectivity and the social classes down, but we really want to improve our mental health class offerings and our physical health class offerings. Our physical health class offerings are going to be, eating, exercise, all that kind of stuff. The mental health classes are really kind of staying positive, dementia, like stuff like that. We already have dementia classes, but we'd like to see more of that. So if there's any expertise out there, we'd love to talk to you.
Great. And then Gail, it asks, so you offer courses on Excel, PowerPoint, and Word?
We did, and we have put a temporary moratorium on those right now, because we have to change our focus to something that's to really kind of at the core of what the need is right now.
Yeah, it would be interesting if you threw a few of those on the calendar, if you get any traction with them, because I think because people are working from home, who might have not been working from home, that could be beneficial. But yeah, good question, Gail. Ralph Sklar, one of our tech advocates, says, I see prices of $5. Is that your standard pricing?
Yeah, so basically, standard pricing for non-free courses is $5. So we really wanted to make, when we started GetSetUp, we wanted to make this as affordable as possible for everybody. So you can basically take an hour class for $5 if you're an end user. But as I mentioned, if you go looking through our class course on getsetup.com and go to schedule, you're going to see that the majority of the classes are free.
Great. Deb Merrimer, one of my friends, great seeing you there, Deb, from Buckley's for Seniors, asks, are the classes just during the day or do you offer evening classes as well?
So that's a good question. So what we do is we generally try to start our classes around 10 a.m. And sometimes we'll roll classes all the way through to like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes a little bit later. But generally speaking, we'll stop around 5.
Okay. And let's see. Ada asks, how do we send referrals to Paul? And I'm putting Paul's email in the chat and in the Q&A there. Juan Tawson says, have you partnered with any of the villages, like the Age in Place village to village network type groups?
Actually, we've talked to some folks over to Village, and I've done presentations with the folks at Village. But to be quite honest with you, we've been so kind of busy over the last 3 months because the need has been coming from area agencies on aging that we've kind of been focusing on that. Not because we don't want to, it's just that those are the people that are coming to us right now.
Now, let's kind of dive into that a little bit. So, like the typical, if you partner with an area agency on aging, are they sort of subsidizing the pricing, or are there grants? Is there
Exactly.
How does all that work?
Yeah, sir. So when the way that they pay us is basically through grants, and it's usually like CARES Act money. It's usually like, and in some cases, in some states, they're using American Disabilities Act money. Most Title IV, I think it's Title III and Title III-D money is being used to kind of fund it. So there's lots of grants out there that it just depends. Every state's different. That's the bottom line.
And so I'm assuming like some area agencies on aging, all of your classes are free because they have this grant funding, whereas others, like, is there a model with an area agency on aging where instead of paying $5, maybe it's at a reduced rate somehow?
Currently, no.
Okay.
Yeah, currently no, and that's just because we're pretty busy and we're running so fast that we really haven't had a chance to look at different models. Like the main focus of our organization right now, believe it or not, is just getting as much connectivity classes out there as possible. And
I like that model, especially in light of the fact that most of your connectivity classes have no charge associated with it. So you come in, you learn how to use these platforms, you gain your confidence, and then you see, oh, wow, I could do chair yoga. And you've sort of built that trust with your audience. They understand how your classes work and how they connect. And it really seems to me to be a really good approach.
I mean, yes, social isolation is a real problem in America right now. And like I said, while I know, like, you cannot replace like a physical hug from your family member, your grandkid, but this is the opportunity to teach somebody on how to engage with them, at least see them grow over time, and connect with them digitally, like we're doing right now.
Exactly.
So that's why we made that decision.
Case in point, like our audience, many of which are healthcare and senior living providers, you guys can see some of them introducing themselves in the chat, is that we were used to seeing each other 2 or 3 times a week at various events, and now we can't. And while this isn't a replacement, I mean, this isn't an exact replacement, there's some parts of it that are actually better, so it's having an open mind. Ken Silverstein says, sorry if you already covered this. Are the classes live or taped and the participant just logged in? Good question, Ken.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll go back to it. No problem. And so the thing is all of our classes are taught live because, if you want a video class, you just go watch something on YouTube.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. The thing that I love about our classes being taught live is the fact that just like right now, Steve is moderating this and he's pulling out questions. In a live class, you can do that. You can't do that with a video class. And kind of the philosophy at GetSetUp is rising tides lift all boats. So what we do is with our model, if we're in the middle of a class and we're teaching something, let's just say about an iPhone, and I don't understand something, I can raise my hand and the class just stops because we need everybody to be able to understand the base concepts before everybody else can kind of move on. So, and in some cases, Steve, we do have folks that, they're just having a little bit more trouble. We in the behind the scenes platform, we have a little button for our instructors which they can hit, and it's basically like, I need help. And if that happens, another instructor will jump in and help that person specifically to address their needs so that the class can continue on. So, we've got all these triggers kind of built to ensure that everybody kind of gets, the knowledge that they need.
Yeah. We've discovered these things all by accident. And I actually sort of feel like the live events in like, being able to interact with the audience that we have right now and answer their questions, not only does it make it more worthwhile for everybody, but it also, like, if somebody is watching this as a recording, the fact that it's sort of driven by the questions in that audience makes the conversation more relevant versus, the pre-recorded lecture where everything is in the hands of the teacher to sort of say, this is what I think is important, as opposed to saying to the audience, what do you think is important? And with that, Deb Merrimer asks, are weekend classes available? Do you have stuff on the weekends?
Absolutely. Like, we always run weekend classes, and I got to be honest, like, if this interests you in the least bit and you're interested in sending, older adults to it, don't go take a class yourself first, because what you're going to do is you're going to see kind of how our instructors teach. You're going to get a feel for the class. And I promise you, you're going to fall in love with your instructors, because essentially what's going to happen is you're going to pop into the class and you're going to see the instructors go, "Hey, Steve, where are you calling from? Oh, you're from there? Great. Tell me a little about that." And they don't let you, they will not allow you to be a wallflower. You have to participate. You have to engage. They pull people out and create conversations. And,
I love it.
That really kind of helps so much, just to kind of get people involved in a conversation. You'll start to see people help each other, which is the best part.
I love it.
Everybody, please take a class. They're free.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do that. And I'm 55, so I can take the class.
Yeah, you qualify.
One says, our village is an organization is focused on facilitating social engagement for seniors, which has been greatly impaired due to the pandemic. This sounds like something that would be terrific to make up for lack of social engagement. We typically facilitated in the past. So yeah, I think one, it sounds like you could reach out to, well, first, I like your advice, Paul. First, what I would do is take a class, familiarize yourself with the platform, maybe throw something into your village newsletter to say, hey, we would like some of our members to take some GetSetUp classes and sign up for some of the free classes or even the paid classes, and then use some of the feedback that you're getting from them to reach out to Paul and say, hey, what can we do to sort of maybe brand this to our audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and everybody that's, potentially interested in, I say, look, go take a class, because I need you to, because you're going to fall in love with the instructor. You're going to fall in love with the platform. We are very meticulous about making sure that our classes are fun, engaging, and relevant. And to that point, every class that on GetSetUp gets rated. And anything that gets below a 3.75 gets dismissed. So, and we figure out what went wrong, why it's a 3.75, and we will either, maybe it's the instructor, maybe it's the curriculum, but and you'll also find that when you take courses at GetSetUp, we follow a very specific curriculum, a very specific outline, a very specific kind of set of bones, meaning like we believe that, when you take a class, then in order for the next class that you take to be effective, it should follow a similar format and outline. So you'll start to see a very similar way in which our courses are laid out. And we believe that that's most effective.
Okay. This is great. Well, man, awesome questions, guys. And Paul, this has been a great overview. Let's, I say we sort of wrap things up and we can all get on and and sign up for some classes. Janet Grit says, I missed the first few minutes. Can users connect from both computers and mobile devices?
Absolutely. So, you can use GetSetUp on an iPhone, an Android phone, a tablet, a computer. It does not matter if it has a web browser. We even support grandpads. So, pretty much anything. So.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks everybody. And it's, this has been a great way to wrap up our discussions for 2020. I'm really psyched for the new year. And I'm also I'm really interested if you log in and use GetSetUp or refer your clients or you start partnering, make sure you reach out and let me know, because I love getting follow-up from you guys from the platforms that we introduce you to. So, and for those that are on the phone or when this is recorded as a podcast, it's GetSetUp, GetSetup, and it's IO, not .com. Or do you have the .com?
No, it is .io. So
okay,
yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Steve.
GetSetUp IO is how you test that out. And all right, well, thanks a lot, Paul, and we'll look forward to keeping tabs on you in the New Year's. Feel free to reach out, and we'll have you back on if you have sort of new integrations or partnership offers and things like that.
You bet. Hey, Steve, thank you, everyone. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday. And I was going to ask Steve, I might have seen a bit of questions that I wanted to respond to that I didn't get in the chat. Is there a way that I could get a copy of the chat?
Oh, without a doubt. And in fact, I'm glad you brought that up. We will, within the next few hours, we will provide a recording and a chat transcript to everybody so that you can follow up. And then Paul, what I do is I send this out to everybody, and it has your contact info on there so that it's easy for people to reach out.
Fantastic. Yeah. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to take questions at any time. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Okay. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.